Now today starting with the second disease after the completion of malaria. The second disease given in your book is amoebiasis. Amoebiasis, oftenly called as amoebic dysentery, means amoebiasis and amoebic dysentery is same. It is a common infection of gastrointestinal tract, GI tract, that is gastrointestinal tract, that is the problem associated with alimentary canal. Usually the parasite, that is the pathogen, is confined to alimentary canal, but sometimes it can even migrate through the blood circulation. It enters into the blood circulation and settle in some vital part of the body. Those vital part may include liver, brain, or even some other part of the body. So it is basically the infection of gastrointestinal tract, but in some cases pathogen may also settle in some vital organs, affecting 15% of the Indian population. Sometime, in certain cases the person can even be asymptomatic, that is, they are just like a carrier, they doesn't show any symptom, but in many cases mild to severe symptoms can be seen. It is basically caused by a type of protista, that is unicellular eukaryotic organism known as Entamoeba histolytica. This Entamoeba has several species, but Entamoeba histolytica is very common and responsible for causing the disease amoebiasis. So this is the basic thing about the amoebiasis. Now starting with the life cycle, how the life cycle of amoeba or amoebiasis complete, Entamoeba histolytica. This diagram shows the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. This diagram I have taken from your textbook. The diagram is given but the description is not given. So I am going to explain in brief about the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. Now in the case of Amoeba histolytica, two different forms may pass out through the fecal matter. Both the forms are shown in this diagram. They are trophozoite, the upper one, or the cystic form, the lower one. These are the two forms, that is cyst or trophozoite, are usually passed in the feces. Now cyst, when comes out of the fecal matter, cystic form usually comes out in the formed stool. This cystic form, the lower form, is usually come out in the formed stool, while the trophozoite, it comes out through the diarrheic stool, that is when the person is suffering from diarrhea due to Entamoeba histolytica, the fecal matter has trophozoites present in it. Now you can see these are the different cystic stage. In the first stage it is uninucleated, in the second one it is binucleated cyst, and in the third one quadrinucleated cyst. However, these are the different stages of cyst. Cyst is usually covered by a protective wall, and due to presence of protective wall they can survive for few days or even for few weeks outside the body. They can survive in the external environment due to presence of external wall. Now infection of Entamoeba histolytica generally occurs by ingestion of mature cyst. You can see this lower one is a cyst. By ingesting the cyst, person get infected. Now this infection is generally through the contaminated food or contaminated water or even by contaminated hands. Now when the cyst enters in the body, excistation, that is cyst open and the trophozoite comes out. Excistation occurs in small intestine and trophozoite is released. You can see in this case cyst wall is opening. It is written as excistement or excistation, you can say. The trophozoite comes out. The trophozoite which comes out in the small intestine, it then migrates to the large intestine. After entering into the large intestine, the trophozoite undergoes several development
and finally it becomes mature trophozoite. In between you can see several stages are given. Finally in the large intestine it becomes mature trophozoite. Now the trophozoite divides by means of binary fission. Trophozoite divides by means of binary fission means 1 से 2 ट्रोफोजॉइड बनेगा, 2 से 4 ट्रोफोजॉइड बनेंगे. Multiple trophozoites are formed in the large intestine, and now this trophozoite again form the cyst. Now this cyst which is produced through the trophozoite, both stages, that is trophozoite stage or cystic stage, it may pass out through the fecal matter. In the case of cyst, because of protection conferred by their cell wall, cyst can survive days or weeks in external environment and are generally responsible for transmission. Trophozoite passed in stool are rapidly destroyed. The upper one, the trophozoite, which comes out in the stool, cannot survive in the external environment. In certain cases, asymptomatic carriers can also be seen. That is, the person having trophozoite in the alimentary canal, but they are not showing any symptom. Such individuals are carriers for amoebiasis. Now trophozoite generally invade the intestinal mucosa. वो हमारे intestine के mucosa पे present होते हैं, intestine के mucosa को attack करते हैं, और sometime through the blood circulation they may enter liver, brain or even lungs. So this is all about the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica.
Now the next slide heading is sign and symptoms for amoebiasis. The first symptom, the first sign is given as diarrhea. Diarrhea is watery loose motion, and the frequency is generally more than 3 times a day. The condition is called as diarrhea. If the fecal matter doesn't have proper consistency, it is not properly formed. If the fecal matter is watery and the frequency is more than 3 times per day, the condition is called as diarrhea. Flatulence, that is passing out of gas frequently. Stool with mucus, sometime mucousy stool. It may also be called as dysentery. So mucousy stool, mucus, a viscous material, a sticky material is present in the fecal matter, or abdominal pain or cramp can be observed in the, or it can be abdominal pain is realized in the abdominal region. So that is the symptom of amoebiasis. Next part is presence of blood in the stool. This happens only in the severe cases. In the case of mild case, just diarrhea or dysentery can be observed, but sometime blood spots or some patches of blood can be seen in the stool. That is a severe case for diarrhea, severe case for amoebiasis. Next part is hepatomegaly. Hepatomegaly, that is swelling of liver. लीवर का enlargement होता है, लीवर में swelling होती है, called as hepatomegaly. It happens when the pathogen, when the Entamoeba histolytica resides in the liver. अगर pathogens liver तक पहुंच गए और liver में settle हो गए, so they are responsible for causing hepatomegaly. Amoebic liver abscess, because of Entamoeba histolytica, if they reach into the liver, they are responsible for formation of pus-like material in the liver, called as amoebic liver abscess. Even fever can be observed, and abdominal pain in the abdomen. So this is all about the symptoms of amoebiasis. The next part is mode of transmission. How the disease transmit from one person to other person. The person suffering from amoebiasis, just now we have seen in the life cycle, उसके fecal matter में trophozoid भी present हो सकता है, cyst भी present हो सकता है. Cyst can survive for few days और trophozoid ज़्यादा survive नहीं करता है, external environment में मर जाता है. By the way, the first and the very common mode of transmission is feco-oral transmission or feco-oral route. When the fecal matter comes in contact with the mouth, डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली व्हेन द फीकल मैटर, रिमेंबर जिनको ये डिजीज है उनके फीकल मैटर में पैथोजन यूजुअली सिस्ट प्रेजेंट हैं। अगर वो फीकल मैटर खाने के संपर्क में आता है, माउथ के कांटेक्ट में आता है, डायरेक्टली या इनडायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट में आता है, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज फीको ओरल रूट और फीको ओरल ट्रांसमिशन। ईटिंग विथ डर्टी हैंड्स, पैथोजन हाथ पे भी प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं। अगर हाथ पे फीकल मैटर टच हुआ है, आपने प्रॉपरली वॉश नहीं किया है, तो वो हाथ पे उसके सिस्ट काफी देर तक सरवाइव करते हैं। वही हाथ से आपने खाना खाया या फूड को हैंडल किया, सो देयर इज अ चांस कि डिजीज ट्रांसमिट होगी। नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज कंटामिनेटेड फूड एंड वाटर। बच्चों, कंटामिनेटेड फूड एंड वाटर, इफ द फूड और वाटर इज डायरेक्टली कंटामिनेटेड विद द फीकल मैटर, or sometime what happen, some vectors are also responsible for transmitting the cyst. The very common vector called as house flies, जो हमारे आपके घर में होती हैं, they are even responsible for transmitting the disease. They are responsible for transmitting the cystic form. For example, ओपन स्पेस में फीकल मैटर है जो कंटामिनेटेड है, उसमें सिस्ट है, वहां पे हाउस फ्लाइज बैठे हैं, वो हाउस फ्लाइज वहां से उठ के आपके फूड स्टफ पे आके बैठ जाएंगे, उनके लेग्स में, उनकी बॉडी में जो सिस्ट अटैच थे वो फूड में चले गए, आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा, बट यू हैव इंजेस्टेड द सिस्ट ऑफ एंटामीबा हिस्टोलाइटिका. So this is how the disease transmit from one person to other person. So this is all about the modes of transmission.
Next side heading is diagnosis and treatment of amoebiasis. Now diagnosis of amoebiasis is made through microscopic examination of stool sample. That means little amount of stool sample is taken, little amount of fecal matter is taken, it is spread on the slide, smear is made, and then it is stained. After staining, it is observed under the microscope just to confirm the presence of Entamoeba histolytica. अगर माइक्रोस्कोप की स्लाइड में Entamoeba histolytica दिखा तो वी कैन से कि दिस डिजीज इज प्रेजेंट और Entamoeba histolytica is present in fecal matter, it is present in stool sample, that means person is suffering from that particular disease. Second point is given regarding the treatment. Amoebiasis is treated by using two different drugs. One is metronidazole and the second one is tinidazole, which can destroy Entamoeba histolytica in digestive tract. वो digestive system में alimentary canal में भी ये ड्रग के इफेक्ट से मर जाते हैं, या अगर बॉडी के दूसरे टिश्यूज़ में वो माइग्रेट होकर गए हैं तो वहाँ पर भी ये ड्रग इफेक्टिव है. सो दीज medicines are used for the treatment of amoebiasis. And the last side heading is prevention and control of amoebiasis. Few basic and simple points are given. As we know, this disease transmit by means of contamination by feco-oral route or contaminated food or contaminated water. So obviously, in order to prevent the disease, we have to prevent the contamination. We have to prevent different type of contamination. We have to maintain the hygienic condition. We have to wash our hand properly. We have to cover the food stuff properly to avoid to come in contact with different vectors like house flies. So these are the few basic points which we have to consider for preventing the amoebiasis. 4 points are given here. The first point is wash hands with hot water or soap after using toilet and changing baby's diaper, because when the fecal matter comes in contact with the hand, if the person is suffering from amoebiasis, so obviously the cystic form of amoebiasis may remains on our hand for few hours also. So if we wash the hand properly with soap or with hot water, that pathogen will die or it will washed off. Second point is drink boiled water, otherwise water must be chlorinated and filtered, because many time fecal matter comes in contact with the water and pathogen may be present, cystic form may be present in the water. So if we boil the water properly, and if boiling is not possible, filtration and chlorination is enough to kill the pathogen. Third point, avoid eating unhygienic food. Vegetable must be properly washed and cooked. If the food is uncovered, on the roadside you have seen several uncovered foods are present, so they may come in contact with the vectors. There is a chance of contamination, and the vegetables we have to properly washed and we have to properly cook, because still in India many people they use open space for defecation. Pathogens may be present, Entamoeba histolytica may be present in some fecal matter, so they may come in contact with the vegetables. Even if we are using raw vegetable, so we have to wash it very properly before consuming. Fourth point, proper sanitary facilities, means we have to use the toilet, avoid using open space which may transmit the disease. Proper sewage disposal also helps in prevention of disease. So this is all about the details of amoebiasis.
Now starting with the third side heading, that is Ascariasis. We are starting with the third disease given in your book. The name of the disease is Ascariasis. Remember, Ascariasis is the disease caused by Ascaris. It is a disease caused by Ascaris. Now it is an infectious disease, means the disease transmits from one person to other person. Infectious disease of human intestinal tract. Mainly the target organ is alimentary canal. Mainly the target organ is intestinal tract. But apart from intestine, this organism may create problem in several other body parts also. It is caused by a type of roundworm called as Ascaris lumbricoides. The scientific name of the organism is Ascaris lumbricoides. This Ascaris lumbricoides is basically endoparasite. It belongs to phylum Nemathalmins, also called as Escalminth. In general you can say nematoda. So it is a type of nematodes which is responsible for creating the problem. It is the endoparasite, quite big in size, generally resides in the alimentary canal. The size may be up to 1 feet or approximately 1 feet. They are slightly pinkish, cream to pinkish in color. Sometime this pathogen comes out through the fecal matter and they are live, they are moving when they comes out of the fecal matter. So that is the general description about the Ascariasis. Now in this side heading, that is in Ascariasis, we have to cover all this part: sign and symptoms of Ascariasis, mode of transmission. Also in short just they have given the life cycle. I will explain the life cycle, diagnosis and treatment, prevention and control. So one by one we'll start with the side heading.
As we know, the disease is caused by Ascaris lumbricoides. This figure, this diagram shows the organism. This diagram shows the Ascaris lumbricoides. There is a distinct difference between male and female. You can say they have prominent sexual dimorphism. The left one, which is comparatively bigger, is female, and the right one, which is comparatively smaller, is male. Both these organisms resides in human intestine. Now starting with the first side heading, sign and symptoms of Ascariasis. First point, gastrointestinal discomfort, means there is discomfort in stomach and intestine, in the abdominal region, accompanied with vomiting and fever. उसके साथ साथ नॉजियाटिक फीलिंग या वॉमिट होगी और फीवर भी हो सकता है. प्रेजेंस ऑफ लाइव वर्म इन फीकल मैटर में, फीसिस में, व्हेन द पर्सन पासेस द फीकल मैटर, एडल्ट लाइव वर्म्स कैन बी सीन, और वो मूव होते हुए भी दिखाई देते हैं. दे आर क्वाइट बिग एंड प्रोमिनेंट इन साइज. थर्ड पॉइंट, pulmonary disorders occur in some patients. Pneumonitis, inflammation in alveolar wall, that is problem associated with the lungs. Pulmonary disorder. Now the question arises, if they are intestinal worm, if they resides in intestine, why do they create problem in the lungs? In order to complete the life cycle, the young stage of ascaris, they migrate even to the lungs, and they may damage the lung tissue. They may responsible for irritating the lung tissue. They are responsible for creating the problem in the lungs called as pneumonitis, that is inflammation of lungs, inflammation of alveolar wall. तो उनकी लाइफ साइकिल में उनको लंग से भी पास होना पड़ता है और वो वहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करते हैं. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, लॉस ऑफ एपिटाइट, भूख नहीं लगेगी, वेट लॉस होगा. नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज इओसिनोफीलिया. इओसिनोफीलिया इज द इंक्रीज्ड नंबर ऑफ इओसिनोफिल्स. बच्चों, इओसिनोफिल इज अ टाइप ऑफ WBC. WBC का एक फॉर्म है, एक टाइप है इओसिनोफिल, उसका काउंट ब्लड में इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. So these all about the sign and symptoms of ascariasis. Now the next part is mode of transmission of ascaris. Mode of transmission of ascariasis. How do this form transfer from one person to other person? See, few basic points are given in your book. In your textbook, the flow chart, this life cycle is given, but they have not explained the life cycle. मैं short में आपको समझाऊंगा. First point, food and drinks contaminated with the eggs of this worm is the main mode of transmission. Means contamination is the main mode of transmission. जो पानी हम पीते हैं या जो ड्रिंक्स हम पीते हैं, जो फूड हम कंज्यूम करते हैं, अगर उसमें इसके एग्स हुए और फर्टिलाइज्ड एग को हमने इंजेस्ट कर लिया, तो वो एग हमारे इंटेस्टाइन में जाकर हैच होंगे और उसमें से उसके यंग वंस बाहर आएंगे. See, in the second point it is given, egg hatched inside the intestine of new host. New host is the new human, is a fresh human, is a healthy human, जहाँ पर वो enter होकर egg में से hatch होंगे. The next point, the larvae passes through various organ. जो young ones egg से बाहर आए हैं, intestine में बाहर आए, intestine में hatch हुआ है. Now they pass from the different body part, they pass from the different organs, एंड फाइनली एडल्ट जो होंगे वो वापस से हमारे एलिमेंट्री कैनाल में, हमारे डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम में सेटल हो जाएंगे. वहाँ पर वो ब्रीड करेंगे और फीमेल वापस से एग लेइंग करेगी. सो दीज आर द फ्यू वेरी बेसिक पॉइंट इज गिवन रिगार्डिंग मोड ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन. अब थोड़ा सा मैं लाइफ साइकिल का जो फ्लो चार्ट बना है ना उसको एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. इन द लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ एस्केरिस, नो डाउट ह्यूमन इज द ओनली होस्ट. Means this Ascaris lumbricoides has a single host, but the life cycle is quite long, because in order to complete the life cycle, this organism has to travel the entire body. It has to pass from the different parts of the human body. Now starting with the adult worm, which is shown on the lower left side, you can see adult worms in intestine, male and female is shown. Female is comparatively bigger, male is smaller in size. They breed, and the adult female lays the egg. Remember, adult female एक दिन में approximately 2 lakh eggs देती हैं. अब इतने सारे eggs जो fecal matter से निकलते हैं, maximum eggs no doubt destroy हो जाते हैं, but some of the egg may create, some of the fertilized egg rather may responsible for making contamination. अभी improper disposal of fecal matter or passing the fecal matter in the open space or any other reason which is responsible for creating contamination. You can see fertilized egg in feces. उसके बाद वो soil में enter हो रहा है. Soil में infective larvae develops within the egg. मतलब egg के अंदर larvae का development start हो जाता है. When such infected larva present in the egg is consumed by, is swallowed by human through contaminated food, through contaminated water or feco-oral transmission, any type of contamination. In short, अगर fertilized egg वापस से human की body में enter हुआ, तो बेटा वो human के elementary canal से पास होता हुआ फाइनली इंटेस्टाइन में जाएगा और इंटेस्टाइन में जाकर वो हैच हो जाएगा. इंटेस्टाइन में उसके यंग वंस बाहर निकलेंगे. जो यंग वंस इंटेस्टाइन में बाहर निकलेंगे, दे आर क्वाइट स्मॉल इन साइज. they start feeding on mucosa membrane of intestine, innermost wall of the intestine. mucosa membrane पर feed करेंगे. mucosa पे feed करते करते सब mucosa में enter हो जाएंगे. सब mucosa as we know is highly vascularized, richly supplied with the blood vessel, and finally they enter into the blood. अभी वो blood vessel के थ्रू देखो यहाँ पर शो किया है वो हार्ट में एंटर होंगे. नो डाउट हार्ट में एंटर होंगे, बट बिफोर एंटरिंग इनटू द हार्ट दे हैव टू पास थ्रू द लीवर ऑल्सो, बिकॉज इंटेस्टाइन से जो भी ब्लड एब्जॉर्ब होता है वो हेपेटिक पोर्टल वेन के थ्रू पहले लीवर में जाएगा. सो दिस स्मॉल यंग वंस दे फर्स्ट एंटर इनटू द लीवर, दे मे क्रिएट लिटिल डैमेज टू द लीवर. अभी लीवर से हेपेटिक वेन जो एंटर होती है हार्ट में, उसके थ्रू वो हार्ट में जाएंगे. बेटा हार्ट से वो लंग्स में जाएंगे थ्रू पल्मोनरी आर्टरी, वो लंग्स में जाएंगे, और लंग्स में जाने के बाद दे क्रिएट लिटिल डैमेज टू द लंग टिश्यू. दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर क्रिएटिंग इन्फ्लेमेशन इन द लंग्स. लंग्स से वो लंग्स के जो पाइप का नेटवर्क है यानी ब्रोंक्यूल्स, ब्रोंकस, होते होते वो ट्रकिया में एंटर होंगे. ट्रकिया में दे स्टार्ट मूविंग ऑन द अपर साइड एंड फाइनली दे रीच द pharynx. व्हेन दे प्रेजेंट इन द pharynx, उस टाइम अगर थ्रॉट रीजन में, pharynx रीजन में इरिटेशन हुआ और कफिंग और स्नीजिंग हुई तो दे मे इवन कम आउट ऑफ द माउथ और नेजल ओपनिंग. वो मुंह से या नाक से भी बाहर निकल सकते हैं उनके यंग वंस ड्यूरिंग दिस बॉडी टूर. एक पैरासाइटोलॉजी की बुक में ये वर्ड यूज किया है, बॉडी टूर. ड्यूरिंग दिस बॉडी टूर दे टेक अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 10 days. इस 10 दिन में उनकी साइज भी थोड़ी बड़ी हो गई है. दे मे कम आउट ऑफ द बक्कल कैविटी और नेजल ओपनिंग, क्योंकि जब वो फैरिंग्स में थे उस टाइम पे अगर कफिंग या स्नीजिंग एक्शन होगा तो वो बाहर आ जाएंगे. अदरवाइज वो फैरिंग्स से टर्न लेके वापस से ईसोफेगस में एंटर होंगे, यू टर्न लेके वापस डाउनवर्ड यानी ईसोफेगस में जाएंगे, उसको हम स्वेलो कर लेंगे. ईसोफेगस से वापस से इंटेस्टाइन में पहुंचेंगे. इंटेस्टाइन में फाइनली वो एडल्ट हो जाएंगे और एडल्ट होने के बाद वापस से दे विल ब्रीड. सो दिस इज हाउ देयर लाइफ साइकिल कंप्लीट्स. नाउ द नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज डायग्नोसिस एंड ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ एस्कैरियासिस. बेटा डायग्नोसिस मैंने पहले भी आपको बताया कि प्रेजेंस ऑफ एडल्ट वर्म, ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ एडल्ट वर्म इन द फीकल मैटर is the confirmation that the individual is suffering from ascariasis. However, अगर एडल्ट वर्म नहीं दिखता है तो डायग्नोसिस के लिए डायग्नोसिस कैन बी डन बाय माइक्रोस्कोपिक एग्जामिनेशन ऑफ स्टूल. स्टूल में उनके एग्स को ऑब्जर्व करके कंफर्म किया जा सकता है. As far as treatment is concerned, anti-helminth drugs can be given. Anti-helminth drug is very effective. यहाँ पे 3-4 ड्रग्स के नाम्स दिए हैं, जैसे फर्स्ट वन इज पाइपेराइजिन, मेबेंडाजोल, लेवामाइसोल और पायरेंटल. सो दीज आर द फ्यू ड्रग्स. ये अलग अलग कॉम्बिनेशंस अलग अलग ब्रांड के नाम से अवेलेबल है. Many drugs, many anti-Helminth drug can even be consumed without doctor's prescription once in a 6 month. And the last part is prevention and control of ascariasis. Very basic points are given. Just we have to avoid the contamination because disease contamination से होती है. If you are able to avoid contamination, obviously disease से हम बच जाएंगे. The first point is avoid defecation in open space. Prevents the spread of ascariasis. अगर हम ओपन स्पेस यूज करेंगे तो बेटा वो ओपन स्पेस में पड़ा हुआ फीकल मैटर वेक्टर के थ्रू भी ट्रांसमिट हो सकता है और वो फूड स्टफ से यानी कि वेजिटेबल से या दूसरे फूड स्टफ से कांटेक्ट में आ सकता है. तो अवॉइड यूजिंग ओपन स्पेस. ओपन स्पेस से डिजीज स्प्रेड होने के चांसेस ज़्यादा हैं. पर्सनल हाइजीनिक हैबिट like washing hand with water and soap after using toilet are also important. Obviously अगर पैथोजन के एग्स मतलब अगर एस्केरिस के एग्स हाथ पे लगे हैं और उसको आपने टच कर लिया, मुंह में डाल दिया या फिर उसको फूड स्टफ से कांटेक्ट में आ गए तो ट्रांसमिशन हो जाएगा. तो प्रॉपर वॉशिंग ऑफ हैंड विथ सोप इज़ वेरी मच इफेक्टिव. वॉशिंग वेजिटेबल थरली बिफोर कुकिंग एंड अवॉइडिंग रॉ वेजिटेबल। देखो कुक करने से पैथोजन के जो एग्स होते हैं वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएंगे, बट इफ़ वी हैव टू यूज़ रॉ वेजिटेबल, उसको प्रॉपरली वॉश करना है, और अगर कुक कर रहे हैं तो कुक करने से तो वो मर जाएंगे, उसको प्रॉपर वॉश करने से जो कंटामिनेशन हुआ है दैट वी कैन अवॉइड। सो दिस ऑल अबाउट द प्रिवेंटिव एंड कंट्रोल मेजर। यहाँ पे एस्कैरियासिस टॉपिक कंप्लीट होता है।